What's going on, everyone? My name is Burke, bringing you the Week 7 battle between the Atlanta Shocks and the San Francisco 49tales. If you have not watched the battle between the Bayleaf Munich and the Dallas Victory Stars, please go watch that first, because that in the beginning I explained why I'm doing these and not Ty and some other stuff that's important. But anyway, the Atlanta Shocks are bringing Cresselia, Umbreon, Megalopunny, Azumarill, Arcanine, and Thundurus. Therian. And the San Francisco 49tales are bringing the Reuniclus, Porygon 2, Magnezone, Emboar, Mega Blastoise, and Weavile. Now, just like the previous battles, don't know who won, don't know who lost, going into this blind. So, first thing I see is they're both bringing pretty bulky teams. San Francisco 49tales have Reuniclus, Porygon 2, Magnezone, Mega Blastoise, Emboar's fairly bulky, and the Atlanta Shocks are bringing Cresselia, Umbreon, Arcanine, and Azumarill. So, both pretty bulky teams, and both have like late game sweepers in, Weavile, and if that's Choice Scarf Magnezone, maybe Emboar, late game sweeper. And the Atlanta Shocks, they got Lopunny, Azumarill, and Thundurus, all as late game sweepers. So, very similar team compositions, but it's definitely going to be hard to break through Cress, Umbreon, and Arcanine, especially because he doesn't really have too much for it except for the Mega Blastoise. The Mega Blastoise can obviously get Dark Pulse, Aura Sphere, and Water Pulse, Scald, Hydro Pump, it doesn't matter. But it gets some type of coverage for each. But if that's especially defensive Umbreon, Aura Sphere is still not doing that much. If that's specially defensive Cress, then Dark Pulse isn't doing that much. So he's got to use the Weavile to take care of that Cress and take care of the Thundurus. And especially he needs to get rid of the Thundurus before Magnezone can really do much, because he has the Atlanta Shocks have an immunity to Electric in the Thundurus because of Volt Absorb, and if they can get rid of that, then Magnezone is free to Volt Switch. However, on the Atlanta Shocks side, Mega Lopunny looks like it does so much to the team. I mean, it'll kill the Porygon 2, the Magnezone, the Weavile. It'll do big damage to the Blastoise and the Emboar, and it can do really big damage to the Reuniclus. If that's physically defensive for Reuniclus, it will be able to take the hits well and kill the Mega Lopunny with Psychic or Psyshock. Umbreon, well, can't really do much besides Wall, which it's very good at, and if that's a Wish baton pass set, that's going to be very hard for the San Francisco 49tales to whittle down the Atlanta Shocks. So it's going to be a very interesting battle, just, bulky teams going against each other, so I'm expecting this to be a little bit of a long battle, just because it's going to probably be a lot of switching, trying to get into a better position, and then firing off a hit, and then doing the same thing over again. So let's get into this battle. Atlanta Shocks start off with the Lopunny, as the San Francisco 49tales start out with this Reuniclus. That takes a lot of damage from the Fake Out, so this might not be fully physically defensive, although he's switching straight onto that Cress, as he reveals the Trick Room, setting up some Calm Minds. That could definitely work. And Thunder Wave, that's just going to make it even slower, so even better in Trick Room. Setting up some more Calm Minds. Moonblast is not going to do much. Moonblast does almost nothing. He gets paralyzed. Moonblast chipping away, but still not doing much. He's just setting up more Calm Minds. At this point, I would probably just go on the offensive in case, something happens, because he's whittling down this and gets rid of the Trick Room. If he goes for the Recover, great. If he doesn't go for he goes for the Trick Room, that's good. And just continues going for the Calm Mind. Trick Room, Calm Mind. He either has Psychic, like 2 more attacks, gets 2 crits in a row, bringing that down really close. And he goes for the Signal Beam. Should have gone for the Recover, because after that second crit, this thing can go for a Fake Out and just take out the Reuniclus. And the Reuniclus was a big threat, because Signal Beam, it might not have had Recover, because it probably had Signal Beam and Psychic. So the Emboar comes in, goes for the Overheat, does pretty good damage. Probably a physically defensive Arcanine Trick Room runs out, and the close combat does pretty big damage. So the Arcanine goes down to an Earthquake, so San Francisco 49tales looking pretty good, although this low punny is definitely putting a lot of pressure with the fake outs. It's a scrappy Porygon 2, but he takes that fake out like nothing and protects on the high jump kick, dealing massive damage to the low punny. And he switches into this the Emboar and just sacks it off. He doesn't have a switch in for the high jump kick, but I don't think, I don't think Bob's gonna do the same thing. He goes for the Trick Room, 2 Trick Room setters. It's definitely gonna be a problem, and he goes for the cover. And now this Umbreon is definitely specially offensive. That did absolutely nothing. And now the Porygon 2 is toxic, so it's on a timer. If he can somehow take down this Umbreon, it's looking good for him, although he still does not have a switch in for that for the Mega Lopunny. That's a Toxic Blastoise. Toxic Mega Blastoise. Alright. So Trick Room goes away, and he's gonna try to protect Stall, Toxic Stall out. And I guess that'll work, but he's also toxic, so that's not a fantastic strategy. But if it has Heal Bell and Wish, then it's not gonna. He's gonna win this battle, or at least he's gonna win against the Blastoise. As Boo's just gonna stay in. He could easily switch out to something like the Magnezone, the Weavile, anything. But it looks like both of them are going to go down to Toxic. So, it's I guess a decent trade, because he gets rid of the Mega. And now just the Azumarill, Thundurus, and the Lopunny. Azumarill going for the superpower, and he's going for the Flash Cannon. Ooh, it's kind of bad. I'm guessing he predicted a switch out, and that's probably might be Assault Vest. It's a choice specs. That's no wonder it did so much damage. That might be Assault Vest. Azumarill pulling the double switch into now it's a huge power Porygon 2 against this thing. It's not going to be able to do much. Focus Blast lands, and he goes for the Tri-Attack. Doesn't do too much. Does not get hacks from Tri-Attack, and Porygon 2 looks like it's going down. He can bring in, he has to bring in the Weavile. The Weavile can go for an Icicle Crash. He does switch out, although I guess, Swords Dance. That's actually, he's not out yet, but he's probably just going to go, Assault Vest. He's probably just going to go for Superpower. Hang on with the Sash, but the Azumarill can presumably go for an Aqua Jet and just finish it off. And it does, and that is a 3-0 win for the Atlanta Shocks, 3-0 loss for the San Francisco 49tales. San Francisco 49tales played very well. Didn't really have too much to switch into the Mega Lopunny, but it's a very strong Mon. His Reuniclus is very interesting, but without the recover, it got whittled down too much. It was only able to take out the Cress? And, Bob did get lucky with 2 crits right back to back. If he didn't get the crits, then he would not have been able to take out the fake out. And Reuniclus would probably be able to take out the Lopunny, or at least deal massive damage to something else before it died. So that was kind of lucky for him. But after the Reuniclus went down, there was nothing really to switch into the Mega Lopunny. It was great seeing Protect on the Porygon 2, predicting the high jump kick, Lopunny dealing massive damage to itself. And from there, Bob did what he needed to, switching in the Lopunny, getting those fake outs off, taking down the big threats like the Emboar, and then just, he's been using Azumarill very well, and I think Azumarill got, killed the Weavile, and it killed, I think it killed the Magnezone. So, Bob playing very well. They both played very well. Just Bob just happened to, play a little bit better this week. So definitely a big win. He goes up to 6-1, and Boo goes down to 1-6. So, unfortunate, but unfortunate for Boo and the San Francisco 49tales. But that's all I got for today. My name is Burke. I'll see y'all later.